it's a big week, obviously, for you guys, and then for satirical news, too, with The Daily Show and Trevor Noah and the firestorm around his tweets. So what are your thoughts on that whole situation?
Well, I don't want to keep being the guy who say tune in, but we actually are going to talk about that because it's one of the things that's core to what we do. Yeah. From the very beginning, this has been about comedy and humor and point of view that pushes the limit. We want to go too far. And so, but you know, we also don't want to be offensive. So this is the constant push and pull of doing a kind of show like this. You know, how do you smack people in the face in a good way, make them startled and go, oh, wait a minute, I hadn't seen that in that way, without being offensive.
Yeah, we also scrubbed our tweets for the last 5 years before we did this interview.
Oh God, yeah.
Yeah.
If you've been following this guy,
God.
holy crap.
Trouble.
You have any advice for Trevor?
Sometimes you got to tweet through some stuff, man. You really do. You know, the media cycle is so fast-paced and people pounce on stuff. There's a pile-on effect that happens, and so you can go from being a star to the next day being a villain. Sometimes you got to work through it and tweet through it and wait a week or 2 weeks and people forget about it, particularly if you're doing the right thing. If it's really just some bad jokes that didn't land well from a young comedian who's trying on a voice, then we'll find that out if you keep going. You know, I wouldn't respond to every tweet. I wouldn't try to double down on what you said. I would just keep moving forward and be the best person you can be. That's what we're trying to do, right? We're trying to tell good stories, honest stories, funny stories, smart stories. And if we do that, occasionally somebody might be in disagreement with it, but we keep going as long as we're doing it in good faith. Have
you ever gone through any kind of Twitter firestorm like that to anything that you've done?
I mean, I'm sure I have this week or something. No, but I mean, you know, I've been a political commentator for almost a decade now, and my first major gig was at Fox News. You know, so you know, I was clearly on the visiting team there. You know, so oftentimes I said things that people found, you know, not objectionable, but at least they were in disagreement with. It happens, you know. But again, if you operate in good faith, you have good intentions, and you're not blatantly offending people, then you should be okay. And occasionally you make a mistake, and what you do is you say, hey, I made a mistake. And then you keep rolling.
Yeah, and in the same way, I mean, you know, I don't know exactly who said it, but it's been said that if your comedy and your humor is not offending somebody, you're not doing it right.
Right.
So, you know, I think there is a massive group out there that is just waiting to be offended. So I'm not going to be dictated by the offense trolls, you know. Yeah. We sort of have developed this sort of Twitter stations of the cross where, you know, you say something and then people get outraged, but they're not really outraged. It's the faux outrage, and then you got to be the faux contrition, and you know, it's kind of a dance that we're not interested in doing. I mean, obviously, if we do something that we regret, we'll own up to it.
Yeah.
But I think that's part of the fun.